All right. What's up, everybody? People in Manhattan, the Uptown, you know what I'm saying, the BX, Boogie Down Bronx, all the way out to Staten Island, Queens, and my home borough, Brooklyn. Back in another video, and this video is gonna be on 3 6 Mafia. Now, this one I think is gonna be another entry into the greatest of all time series. Okay, and by the way, I'm gonna, be trying to do more greatest of all time series outside of hip hop. Like I'm thinking about doing one on Usher, saying getting into athletes. I might do one on Magic Johnson. Yeah, I said it, Magic Johnson. Okay. And, oh, by the way, people in the Bronx, my people in the Bronx, man, these motherfuckers on the social media, these depressed black women on fucking social media, they coming for y'all girl J Lo, man. y'all better do some shit about it. I'm just playing. Like I said, it's five boroughs for everybody, so don't matter. You fuck with one of us five, people from the five boroughs, just fuck with all of us. So we gotta have our girls J Lo's back, cause god damn. But I mean, back to this. There's gonna be an entry to the greatest of all time series on 3 6 Mafia. Now, like I said in the NWA video, 3 6 Mafia is, or excuse me, NWA to me is will always be the greatest rap group of all time, just because their influence and impact on hip hop. Everybody raps, well, not everybody, but almost 70% of hip hop raps about gangster shit, and that can all obviously be traced back to NWA. 3 6 Mafia themselves, like DJ Paul, Juicy, and all them, they'll tell you themselves they were influenced by NWA. Paul used to say back when he would make mixtapes, he had some NWA songs, Ice Cube songs, and then sneak one of their songs into it. And he said that multiple times in interviews. Juicy J, the same thing. Paul shouted out the LA hip hop scene on Twitter. Like somebody made a comment about Atlanta's hip hop. I think it was that. I think it was some rapper. I don't know. Somebody said something about Atlanta's hip hop scene, and Paul commented talking about what about LA's hip hop scene, or what about this hip hop scene, stuff like that. So Paul's always got mad respect for NWA, and I respect that. But this is gonna be on 3 6 Mafia. Now, I will say this about 3 6 Mafia. They are probably, to me, probably the most influential rap group in the last 25 years, 30 years, or post NWA. They're probably the most influential rap group. Okay? They're probably the most influential rap group of all time when you think about their sound. Okay, NWA sound, that G-Funk sound, nobody really does that anymore. But 3 6 Mafia, that trap style, them trap style beats, crunk influence beats, style beats, those, everybody does that today, 25, 30 years later. And they were doing that back in the early 90s, late 80s. So, Memphis is definitely underrated hip-hop scene. They were way ahead of their time, and like I said, my truth about Atlanta hip-hop videos, Atlanta stole their whole shit. But, let's get into this. Obviously, this is Juicy J's Instagram. I think this was August of last year. This is the return of 3 6 Mafia reunion tour. Obviously, Paul and Juicy as Bust. Also starring Bone Thugs and Harmony, DMX. Obviously, DMX didn't do the tour because he went to rehab. And all original Hypnotized Minds and Hypnotized Camp Posse members. Gangsta Boo, fine as hell, by the way. She's fine. I'm sorry, Gangsta Boo figure, she fine. Crunchy Black, condolences to Crunchy Black. His daughter passed away. I didn't know about it until I saw it on DJ Vlad. Project Pat, Lil White, and LaChat. And this is Lord Infamous, DJ Paul's older stepbrother. When he passed away in 2013, he had a heart attack. I would say rest in peace, but I don't think this nigga's at peace wherever he's at right now. And I think we all know where he's at. He ain't at peace. Okay, and I know a lot of them tried to deny it. Juicy, Paul, Scarecrow, they all tried. That's Lord Infamous's nickname. One of his aliases is the Scarecrow, which is clever, which is original as hell. But they all tried to deny that they were Satanists and they were devil worshippers and blah blah blah. I don't believe them. And I heard Coops and Nika say it. Coops and Nika, who was probably the biggest Satanist in that group, probably the scariest nigga in that group, in terms of Satanism and devil worship and lyrics. But Coops stated in a documentary he made called New World Order that all of them were Satanists for real, were devil worshippers for real. And some people left the group, left 3 6 Mafia and Prophet Posse and Hypnotized Minds because they were scared of, being Satanists. And Coops said that, and Coops also stated that he tried to get black people comfortable with Satan, comfortable with him. And because Coops was angry at God for having a bad childhood. And that's the thing with a lot of people, they're upset at the Most High for whatever reason. So they become atheists or they turn to a different religion. So that's that. But we're gonna get into why 3 6 Mafia is the greatest of all time. Look at their run. Now 3 6, no, like I said, they were doing shit. Scarecrow and Paul were doing mixtapes. Juicy was doing mixtapes, and Paul and Juicy did, volume 1, 2, and 3 in the early. And they were doing this in the early '90s, late '80s, early '90s. They released their smoked out, loked out mixtape in '94, and then released their debut album Mystic Styles in '95 on their then label Prophet Entertainment. Which they co-founded with one of their friends, Nick Scarfo, who passed away in 2015. But yeah, so we're gonna start that run at that '95. We're gonna end it, probably in '05, '06, because that's kind of after that. That was like the 3 6 Mafia winning the Oscars. That was kind of like the beginning of the end of 3 6 Mafia. Then they went on commercial. Because the labels forced them to. People heavily criticized their last album, Last to Walk. That's why it was an okay album. It wasn't as bad as people say it was. I enjoyed it. The cover was dope as hell. I enjoyed the project. I understand why people criticize it though, because it had a lot of electro pop influenced type beats to it. 3 6 doing a lot of songs. Paul and Juicy, songs such as Lolly Lolly Pop That Body and what's the other song? Feel It with Sean Kingston, and they started doing a lot of electro pop songs. But people gotta understand that at that time, that was the late 2000s, that was the late 2000s. Though that was kind of the thing. Electro pop dance music, that was kind of the thing. So you want to be a commercial success, even in hip hop. Flow Rider. Remember the song Flow Rider with T-Pain, and then Lil Wayne started doing songs like that. Kanye started doing songs like that. So that was kind of the label forcing Paul and Juicy to keep up with the Joneses instead of keeping with their crunk style, their crunk horrorcore devil style. You feel me? But yeah. So let's look at their run from '95 to '05. Okay, in '95, like I said, they released Mystic Styles. Trying to find. Here's them winning American Music Award or some shit. Them at the Oscars. That's the cover of their last Walk album, alternate cover. Here we go. Here's Mystic Styles. Okay, they released this album in '95, and it was kind of an underground album because they didn't really blow up until '05 on a national level. They didn't blow up in the hip hop world, by the hip hop fans until about 2000 when the Smoke Clear 6661 dropped. But this was kind of considered an underground album. This had classic bangers on it: Break the Law '95, Tear the Club Up, the original one, the classic Bone Thugs disc Live by Your Rep, and a bunch of other good songs on. This is a very enjoyable album. I'm a fan of this horrorcore, dark style of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? 3 6, Bone, Tech Nine, Brother Lynch Hung. Nowadays it's called funk music. Space Ghost Purple and the Raider Clan. I'm a big fan of this style. So if you like that style of hip hop as well, so I recommend this album a lot. Like I said, this album was one of the forerunners of crunk music and trap music. And if you look up this album on Google, if you look it up, you look under its legacy, it'll say that it was the forerunners of crunk and trap music. If you listen to it, that's what it was. Break the Law is a crunk song. Tear the Club Up is a crunk song. They're rapping about trap shit, selling dope and whatnot. Now this is the second album, Chapter 1, The End, which is, I consider it classic. You could say. It had the song Late Night Tip on it. It had the song Late Night Tip. This album had a remix or redo whatever of Late Night Tip and Tear the Club Up '97, which is the song that kind of blew them up, got them recognition in the South and the Southern hip hop scene at that time. Oh, by the way, back to this album. This album was released in '96, which is, I've said it before in past videos, which is probably one of the greatest years in the history of hip hop. So many classic albums dropped that year. Well, I consider this a classic. And kinda maybe. Mystic Styles is definitely a classic, but this one and honestly this one, it's not that they're bad, just classics. I don't know, but and that leads us to this. When Smoke Clear 6661, definitely not a classic. This was the first album dropped by Memphis rapper or Memphis rappers to go platinum. Before 8 Ball MJG, DJ Spanish Fly or Gangsta Pat, Project Pat, 3 6. They were the first rappers from Memphis to go platinum with this album. This is a classic album. The intro is fire as hell, bro. I'm telling you, Weak Ass Bitch, Sippin' on Scissor, Who Run It, Tongue Ring had classic songs on it, man. This joint is definitely a classic. It's a crunk album. I consider a crunk album. It's a crunk essential. Like I said, Memphis, they're the ones who invented that crunk style of music and trap music. But they didn't call it crunk. They called it buck. They didn't call it crunk music. They called it buck music. Okay, get buck, get wild, get crunk, turn it up. You know what I'm saying? That. Okay, so they called it buck music. So whatever. And let me say this about Memphis, the Memphis rap scene. Before I speak about the Unbreakables, how the Memphis rap scene was uh, was how it was perceived back then. How it was perceived back then is how Chicago is looked at today. The Memphis rap in the '90s was kind of the Chicago drill of that era. Memphis was the Chicago of that era in terms of hardcore, hard body lyrics, dark style of hip hop. Not just 3 6, but Tom Wright the Third, all those guys. They were all on that. Some of them, I can't say all of them, but some of them are on that devil shit for real. Kingpin, Skinny Pimp, Playa Fly. They were sampling Halloween and Friday the 13th and Texas Chainsaw Massacre and all types of songs and from horror movies, horror film scores and whatnot. You know, there was a song. It's a song called "The Gangsta Walk," and I believe it sampled Halloween. You can look it up on YouTube. It sampled the Halloween, sound. You know what I'm saying? So Memphis rap was the drill of the '90s, but the thing that's the '90s though. So there was no internet, no YouTube, no SoundCloud, no way for the. So that's why Memphis rap scene's always kind of been underground. Even today, it's still kind of underground, but had social media, had Twitter and Instagram, Snap, YouTube, SoundCloud, all that been around in the '90s. Memphis, I'm telling you, that's how the Memphis rap scene was perceived back then. It was the Chicago drill of its era. Like nobody was calling. Well, I can't say nobody, but nobody, kind of knew how bad it was in Chicago in terms of gang violence. Unless you were from Chicago, nobody really knew what was going on out there. Now after Chief Keef blew up with "I Don't Like" and "Love Sosa" and blew up with whole drill music, him, Chop, Lil Reese, Fredo, rest in peace, all of them blew up. All of them blew up. That's when we started calling Chicago Chirac and Chirac this, Chirac that, Chicago's gangsta ass city, all that. Of course, Chicago is one of the biggest cities in America, so we know they got ghettos and whatnot. But we should have known how bad it was in Chicago because no rapper before it was on some gangsta shit like Sosa was. I mean, everybody was rapping about conscious shit, or some hibbity hibbity hobbity hobbity, tongue twisting type of shit, Lupe Fiasco, Common, Kanye West, Twista, Do or Die, I believe they're from Chicago. Crucial Conflicts from Chicago, I believe. All those guys were either hibbity hobbity tongue twisting rappers or conscious rappers. Because that's how we should. So we should have known some bad was going on in Chicago if nobody was rapping some gangster shit. And now Chicago hip hop's starting to get its respect because they start doing that gangster shit. The drill music. Okay, but get back to 3 6 Mafia. This video's on them. This is another album they did called the Unbreakables, which to me is a classic. Obviously, Gangsta Boo had left. Coops and Nika had left. Coops kept getting locked up. I think he had problems with the law. Gangsta Boo left because she had contract disputes, and she stayed in an interview with the Breakfast Club. After she left, she realized she fucked up. Yeah, no shit. No respect. Your fine ass. But yeah, this is a classic album to me. Ryan Spinners, Ghetto Chick. What's that song? Like a Pimp with Pimp C and Project Pat. This is definitely a classic joint with me. And You Scared Ho. Dun 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 dun. You Scared Ho. That song. Paul and Juicy, man. They're on the short list of greatest producers of all time. As a duo. If we're talking about a production team, a duo, they're probably the greatest. Okay. Lord Infamous and Crunchy in the bottom. Okay. Now this was the album, the project that really blew 3 6 Mafia up on a national level. This guy was like, dare I say, rock star, pop star level. Most known unknowns. And if you listen to the intro, Paul said the reason they called it most known unknowns because they were known, but they weren't known. People knew 3 6 Mafia from their sound and style because this is 2005, so this is kind of at the height of the crunk era, and Gucci dropped his album Trap House, or whatever, I think it was called Trap House in '05. Jeezy dropped TM 101 in '05. T.I. dropped Trap Music 2 years prior in '03. You know what I'm saying? So 3 6 Mafia was known for their style, but nobody knew who they were. Paul, Juicy, and Crunchy, no one knew who they were. Okay, now I think Lord Infamous had left at this time because Because at this point, their label was Hypnotized Minds, and they sold it to Sony Records, I believe, or Columbia Records, one of them record labels, and one of them, I think it was Columbia record label, and Columbia Force Lord told 360 he got cut Lord of Infamous out because he got arrested or some shit, I don't know, some contract situation, but he was gone and they blew up. You know, of course the hit single "Stay Fly," "Side to Side" with Bow Wow and Pat, and then "Poppin' My Collar" with Project Pat. Now ever since I can remember, I've been popping my collar. You know what I'm saying? This is the alternate cover to Most Known Unknown. It's also Body Parts 3, which is a series of songs 360 did. They've done, as far as my knowledge, 4 Body Parts songs. Body Parts, which was on the Chapter 1 album. Body Parts 2, which was on the Chapter 2 World Domination album. Body Parts 3 was on Most Known Unknowns. And obviously here you see Paul in the red, Juicy. You see Fraser Boy, the shades on, and Crunchy Black in the back with the blue jacket on. You know, Juicy J look weird as hell without his glasses, don't he? I can't be the only one who thinks that. Juicy J looks weird as fuck without his sunglasses, man. It was completely different, but now this is them at the Oscars. They won for It's Hard Out Here for a Pimp, which is on the Hustle and Flow. The Hustle and Flow soundtrack. So. And, you know, they don't make movies like that no more, but that's another video for another day. Hood movies like that, but they won for It's Hard Out Here for a Pimp. They became the first rap group to win it, the second rappers to win an Oscar after Eminem won in 2002 for Lose Yourself. Obviously, here's them again on the red carpet, and here's Paul and Juicy. Man, I cannot stand looking at Juicy without his sunglasses, bro. He just looks weird. Not that he's, ugly or anything, no homo. Not that he ugly or anything. It's just, he just looks weird. Here's them with Salma Hayek. Her fine. Salma Hayek, fine ass. You know, Paul said that in an interview with Vlad TV that Salma Hayek got on him for wearing diamonds. He's like, "Don't you know your brothers and sisters in Africa are dying?" And Paul said he didn't hear a word she said because and dying in Africa for those diamonds. Paul said she didn't hear a word she said because he was staring at her body. I don't blame him. Okay, and this is the single "The Boy Fresh" featuring Chamillionaire. This is kind of like the last song that 360 did with their classic sound before the label forced them to go all pop on us. You know, this song, Trap Boom, you know, those songs. That was like the last raw 360 Mafia we heard in terms of their sound until the label forced them to switch it up. Now, this was supposed to be on the Last to Walk album, but they got cut, unfortunately. And this is Last to Walk. And that's the original cover. That's the original cover right here. This is the alternate deluxe cover, I believe. Okay, so that's their run. Now their legacy, their influence. Their legacy and their influence is, well, they changed the sound of hip-hop, man. I mean, like I said, hip-hop was completely different before them and the Memphis rap scene, for that matter. But they were kind of the ones who took the Memphis sound and blew up. Them and A-Ball and MJG and Pat, of course. And blew up. Nobody else really blew up outside of Memphis. You know, so they're the ones who put the Memphis rap sound on the map, and they influenced everybody. You know, like I said, go check out my Truth About Atlanta hip-hop video. You know, I was running against Atlanta, and I'm from New York, so, you know, of course a lot of people say I'm hating on Atlanta. Ain't nothing like that. It's just the truth, okay? They all stole Buck music and just called it crunk music, okay? And even the word crunk, you know, look, I don't know where that slang came from, okay, but 360 Mafia had a song on their Chapter 1, the End album, called Get 'Em Crunk. That's all I know, okay? And I'm pretty sure somebody in Memphis came up with that before them, but whatever. Okay, their legacy and their influence, man. Okay, you know, they've influenced many rappers, you know. Gucci Mane's talk about his kids. Ask Gucci Mane who his favorite rapper is, Project Pat. You know what I'm saying? You know, Gucci Mane, T.I., anybody who does trap music or crunk music, whatever, owes credit to 360 Mafia. And they're just starting to get their credit, you know, the last couple years, you know. A lot of people have been sampling, you know, Slob on My Knob and all types of songs, you know. Megan Thee Stallion made a song called WAB, which is Weak Ass Bitch, and she sampled, of course, that song. Cardi B made a song called Bacon Head, where she sampled Chicken Head, you feel me? And don't get me started on them faggot motherfuckers, the ASAP mob. Motherfuckers love the South. God damn, they hate being from Harlem. They hate being from New York. Okay, I'm just playing, but you know, I heard Space Ghost Perp say that Rocky wanted to be from the South so bad, and that's obvious. That's just obvious to me. The way he talks about Houston and Southern hip hop scene, you can tell. But that's whatever. That's something else. There's some other shit, but yeah, man. I mean, Space Ghost Perp, ASAP Mob. Everybody samples 3 6 Mafia. Slob on my knob, Drake. Drake on the song "Look Alive" with Black Boy JB. He stole Project Pat's verse. If I fucked up, I'ma be downtown, man. 4th floor bound, man. That comes from a Project Pat song called "Out There" on his debut album Getty Green. You feel me? Everybody sampled 3 6 Mafia. Everybody, kind of stole their style. you know, I won't say Bone Thugs stole their style, but that's another issue. That's another issue, But that got quickly resolved, thank God. And yeah, it's Paul and Juicy, but is 3 6 Mafia the greatest of all time to you? They're definitely, in terms of me, in terms of groups, they're probably my top 5. Like I said, no one's ever gonna be above NWA to me. NWA, Outkast, 3 6, the Wu Tang. And of course, the OGs Run DMC, gotta give them credit as well. So that's probably top 5. But in terms of influence, 3 6 is probably number 1. They're probably number 1. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Like the video, comment down below for more ideas, and be on the lookout for another entry into the greatest of all time series. Not on hip hop artists, but on Usher Raymond. I'm trying to do one on Usher next, and also I'm gonna start getting into athletes. I'm gonna do one on Magic Johnson. Okay, and I'm also gonna do another video talking about hood movies. Speaking of hustle and flow, because you don't see movies like that no more. Boys in the Hood, Poetic Justice, Menace to Society, Juice. What I'm saying? ATL, Belly. You don't see movies like that no more. So I'm gonna be doing doing videos like that, addressing that. But yeah, be on the lookout for another entry into the GOAT series on Usher, and comment down below for more ideas. If not Usher, who do you think it is? Comment down below, subscribe, and help a young brother grow on YouTube, man. All right, see ya.